What's going on? As you see, that there are 5 things that everybody needs to know. I'm going to teach you something tonight that's going to change your life. So get everybody you possibly can. I'm going to invite people as well. But I have 5 things that can put you in a better place. 5 things that can change how you live, how you breathe, how you have your being. 5 things that you need to know in order to be where God wants you to be, to have the life that you want. I'm going to teach you 5 things. So I'm going to give you 5 ingredients, 5 things. And if you do these things, it'll work. I mean, it's just pure and simple. It's going to work. If you do these things, male or female, they're going to work. I've watched them work, and I've seen what God can do. I've seen the situations. 5 things that will change your life. So if you come on here, make sure you got pencil and paper. Make sure you got something to write with. This is not one of those arbitrary, you going pouncing through and watch me dance and flip around and all this kind of stuff. These are things that will change your life. And that is the purpose of this whole thing. So get ready, get your stuff ready, and start doing it. I'm going to go get me something to drink. Y'all come with me? Yeah, I know y'all are. Come with me. Yeah. Let me get something to drink. I keep a folder. Always keep a folder and a pen. If you don't have a folder and a pen, get one. And you write everything down. Take good notes. Take really good notes. Really good notes. And write everything I tell you down. Make sure. What's going on, Vic? Because what I'm watching happen is I'm watching people talk about manifestation. And a lot of people that talk about manifestation have not manifested themselves. And that's what you need to do. When you talk to somebody that's talking about manifestation, see what they've manifested. See what they've manifested. And understand something. Manifestation is not just about something happened. Manifestation is about understanding where you are spiritually and how to operate in that level of the spirit. I mean, we're talking about husbands, children, food. Manifestation is something that a lot of us want to do, but we don't know how to do it because there's so many voices out there. But that's not the important thing. What are the five foundational things you need to know about your life? What are the foundational things you need to know about your movement? Get the notes going about your business. But what I want you to do, if you come in here, I want you to go invite 5 people. Just 5. Just 5 people. Invite 5 people. Because what I'm going to share with you, they're going to thank you. Imagine this. Imagine this. Imagine if somebody gave you what I'm going to give you 5 years ago. And by the time this took place, by the time this came place in this 5th year, by the time that took place, you were already in a place where money was coming, situations were happening. How would it have looked had you been in that place? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you how to move in those places where you can be everything that you need to be. I'm going to teach you that tonight. I'm going to teach you that tonight. Because a lot of us are operating in a place where we want to know how to do stuff, but we don't know how to do it. So invite. Because I'm doing TikTok and I'm doing Instagram. Nowhere else. I'm not going to YouTube. This is not going to be saved. This is not going to be something I'll come back a little bit later, because these are the most important 5 things. Now I'm going to probably say them someplace else, but I'm not going to break them down here. I'm breaking them down today on this channel, on this broadcast. I'm breaking down 5 things. I should have put that over there. 5 things that will change your life. 5 understandings that will change your life. And when you understand these things, you'll begin to see something at a different level. And a lot of us see something at the old level because our pains and the things that have hurt us, those things cause us to operate in a certain level. We have good hearts, we love people, but the moment we feel like somebody's trying to get over on us, the moment we feel like something, emotion kicks in. And when emotion kicks in, you stop seeing the goodness in people and start seeing the tragedy and the situation and the circumstances that happen with that. So 5 things. These 5 things will change your life. I promise you, I don't care what anybody says to you, these 5 things will change your life. They will put you where you need to be. A lot of us have adapted what we want, where we want to be, and so we'll follow after people and situations and circumstances to get to that place. But what I teach you today will help you get to that place quicker. Why? Because it is not determined by what I'm sharing with you. It's determined by what's inside of you. What's inside of you. So what I want now, make sure you take good notes. Take really good notes. Now, this is not a church thing. This is not even a business thing. This is for you to be empowered and to build at a different level. Stick with me. Just give me what time is it? What time is it? It's 11:15. Give me till 11:45. I'm waiting for a certain amount of people to come up, but I promise you. I promise. I have seen this happen before. I try to be a man that shares everything that we need to get. Now, there are 5 things, and I'm going to break them down. I'm not just going to give them to you to write down. I'm going to break them down. But I need 3 things. Number 1, I need you to go. If you're on here, if you're on Instagram or TikTok, go and invite 5 people. Type in your little comment, 5 things that you need to know. 5 things that you need to know. You will thank you. You will thank me, and they will thank you. Right now, everybody is in a place where they feel like they're stuck. They're trying to get to the new level. The thing that you have to understand that's not one of the 5 things is seasons. You have to understand seasons. If you do not understand season, then you'll not understand what I'm about to tell you. There are 5 things you need to know. But in order to get those things, you have to understand seasons. A lot of us don't understand seasons. Seasons are natural. They are natural to who we are and our experience in life. They're natural to our experience of who we are. Seasons are very important because that's what determines how you deal with the particular place. If you're trying to move in finances, if you're trying to move in relationship, you're trying to move in writing books or ministry or spirituality, you have to understand seasons. So go invite 5 people, because I'm going to get 5 people, 5 things. Everybody go and invite 5 people, and I am going to change your life today. This is not spooky. These are practical things that you can do to change your life. This is not something that's difficult. It's not something that's hard. I'm not going to bash anybody or say, oh my God, he should have done this or they should have done this. I'm going to break these 5 things down. Now I'm going to say them on other places. When I start to say them on my Instagram, my TikTok, and Facebook, and all these things, you will know what they are. So make sure you take good notes. Take great notes. If you cannot stay, it's okay. It's all right. Because a lot of the things, but understand, number 1, this is not number 1 thing. Understand seasons. And the other thing is patience and perseverance. Patience and perseverance. Patience and perseverance. You follow me? Patience and perseverance. You have to understand those things. Seasons, patience, perseverance. And when I give these 5 things to you and you write these 5 things down, you're going to begin to see what's going on. Now, I'm doing this because I don't want people in here just that's going to hear it and go and not do anything with it. If you're here, do what we say. And it's nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with, I'm going to say, go follow me, go. No, this has nothing to do with you following me and hitting my friends. And no, all of the stuff that I did, I just did a commercial for a master class that I'm doing. I'm doing a spiritual master class. And while I was sitting there, I'm going, there are 5 things in my life that I just feel like I need to share. Because I'm dealing with people that are trying to get money, that are trying to be spiritual, that are trying to get wives, that are trying to get husbands, that want to fix their own husband, fix their wives. These are things that we have to understand. So if you haven't written it down, write down seasons. Because seasons is the overall foundation of everything that we're talking about. Seasons are the thing that you need to understand more than anything else. So if you are on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, if you're following me on Facebook, what I want you to do is go and invite people that you know need their lives changed. If they need money, if they need their relationship together, if they need their situation, if they need healing, if they want to get healthy. These are the things that you need to know in the foundation of them. There are about 10 of them, so I'm going to go through 5 of them because I believe that's enough time for me to do everything I need to do. I'm going to go through 5 of them, but I'm going to tell you. So What you need to understand is, though I say them, you have to understand seasons, patience, and perseverance. A lot of you have missed those things. Seasons, patience, perseverance, and forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is not about letting somebody off the hook. Forgiveness is about setting yourself free from following after that thing. Because here's what happens. When you don't forgive, you follow after something when you need to let it go and let the system of life, whether it's karma, whether it's reaping or sowing, let that happen to that person. Now, it may not happen at the level that you want to, but you have to understand that what you're doing is putting yourself in a position where you can keep moving and keep operating and keep going to the next level. So, you guys ready? Yeah, I know forgiveness is hard, Mindy, but forgiveness is not understood. We think forgiveness is understood. So I'm going to touch on forgiveness before I go, because when I say that, every time I say that, that's a hot button. It's a hot button. So forgiveness is not about, there are two different things when you're trying to deal with forgiveness. The first thing you have to deal with is forgiveness. There are two sides of it. There's forgiveness and there's restoration. Most of you are having a problem with restoration. You don't have a problem with forgiveness. You have a problem with restoration and reciprocity. Forgiveness, restoration, and reciprocity. So when you deal with forgiveness, I might need to get some water. When you deal with forgiveness, you have to understand those three things. Because most people don't have a problem with forgiveness, it's restoration and reciprocity. That's where most people have a problem. They don't have a problem with forgiveness, it's restoration and reciprocity. So let me go ahead and touch on that before we get started with the 5 things. Okay? Forgiveness is not about letting someone off the hook. It's about letting yourself off the hook. Because with forgiveness, it's restoring people back to the place they were in before they did anything to you. But that's a spiritual thing and a mental thing. It is not restoring them to a place where you're vulnerable again. So if someone did something to you, forgiving them says, okay, I push you over there where you were before I met you, and I deal with you from a person that I don't know. We want to restore that person to the place they're in. When you forgive them, you set yourself free first. That means whatever you did to let them in your life, whatever you did to allow them to do this, whatever situation took place, forgiveness says, I forgive me before I forgive you. Why? Because you want to make sure that you're free to move after you then. Now remember, I'm going to give you 5 things today. This is not one of them, but I have 5 things that you need to know. So stick with me. So forgiveness says, I let that thing go. Now, you can spiritually and mentally let that thing go. It's easy. The challenge is, once you've allowed a person into a part of your life, there are muscle memory, mental memory, and all these things that remind you of why you let that person in. So now you're thinking about restoration. That means I get rid of the thing that bothered me, but do I deal with the person the same? Can I help you out? Let me help you out. Forgiveness is not going and playing nice with that person. No. Forgiveness is not playing nice with somebody did something to you. Forgiveness is that person becomes a business or a purely external relationship. And so what you have to realize is, if I forgive you, I love you like God tells me to love you. If you need me, I'm there. But I'm not going to put myself in the position that I was in when you did whatever you did. I don't care what you did, because that's going to work out in your life. I'm not going to hold on to what you did, because I'm not going to follow you around for it. I let that thing go. Why? Because after I let it go, then comes restoration. God restores me. Hello, daughter. God restores me so that I see what happens. See, what you have to realize is you get to a point in your life and you understand that anything you hold on to that hinders you, stops you, and does nothing for the person that you're not forgiving. It does nothing for the person you're not forgiving. So what you have to realize, you've been lied to. I'm sorry, you have been. You thought that forgiveness meant restore that person to where they were. No, forgiveness meant I go get healed until I can deal with you according to what you did. It is not about restoration. So, what is restoration? Restoration says, I forgive you and I place you back in the position you were when you hurt me. That's restoration. That's not forgiveness. That's different. Restoration says, I return you. Forgiveness says, I release you. Say it again. Restoration says, I return you. Forgiveness says, I release you. We thought that bringing you back meant that you were forgiven. If you notice that anytime someone has a challenge, whether it's law or something, they said that thing is forgiven, go and be. If you do it again, it's worse. So forgiveness is not restoration. You've been taught restoration. Why? That lets preachers and pastors and leaders, those that taught you, it lets them get away with murder. If you cannot handle what that person has done, then you need to move away from that person. Don't sit there and keep yourself controlled by the person that's done it. That's what a lot of people do. You are now controlled by the person that's done it. Well, why didn't you give me my money? Why did you sleep with my sister? Why did you hurt my cousin? Why? Because you're stuck in a cycle that is now holding you accountable to protect yourself, to watch over yourself. You now have policed your own self, your own body, and that person has gone on about their business. So restoration is not a part of it. The second one is reciprocity. You think that when someone does to you something to you, you think you've got to get them back. You think that I got to go and get this person back. They did this to me. So I'm going to talk about their name. I'm going to do all these types of things. Now, what you've done is mental energy and spiritual power that you had is you're now using that valuable power to now go and attach it to something that's not who you are. So you now are dealing with a reciprocity that takes that energy that could be used to build something better and to show them that they didn't bring you down. You're using it now. I'm going to get you back. Why? Because I want you to feel what I feel. It's real big with women. So reciprocity is not forgiveness. Reciprocity says that yes, it happened to me, but what I want to do is take that power and use it towards something greater. Does it make sense? Young lady takes $5,000 from us, and I'm done. She's my friend. She disappears, and when she disappears, what happens is she never gives us our money back. We struggle, y'all. We struggle. We didn't have any money. Our bills are going back. We struggle until I forgave her. I went up to my wife and I said, we need to forgive her. My wife said, God told you to forgive her, didn't tell me to forgive her. No, I'm not going to forgive her. When I forgave her, the whole thing that she did, not only did we do better than that little bit of money we gave her, we were able to help other people because that the creativity. See, when you got reciprocity, you create ways to get people back. If you took the same power to get people back and took that to create greater stuff, you'd probably be rich now. You'd probably be wealthy. If you use the same creativity to get that person back, you'd probably be rich now. So, follow me very closely. Reciprocity means that as you have been hurt, now your spirit then creates opportunity not only to heal you, but to teach you and strengthen you for something better. It is not, the reciprocity is not every light-skinned man is going to hurt me. Every light-skinned woman is going to hurt me. So whatever that person did, it was not so that you can now go, well, I'm going to protect myself from everybody that falls into this position. What it says is, reciprocity says, once I restore myself, now I'm stronger than I was before the thing happened. That's the reciprocity that you deal with. But most of us want to deal with the get you back reciprocity. Oh, you shouldn't have done that to me. I'm going to get you back. Why? Because that person, they get away with murder. They get away with this. They don't even attempt to go down that road. Why? Because that power you use, this is difficult. It's not easy, y'all. It's not easy because we're attached to our feelings. Our feelings are our drug. I want to feel good. I want to feel bad. If I feel like a boy, I should be a boy. If I feel like a girl, I should be a girl. Our feelings are our drug. They're our addiction. And so what we want to do is feel like we did something, feel like, and if you got them back, it doesn't even feel any different. But what would feel different if you took the reciprocity and start building something greater, so when they look at you and see you on television or see you in the forefront of something, they can go, wow, that's that girl or that's that guy, and that will put you in a better place. Forgiveness. So those things, remember your season, remember patience, remember perseverance, and remember forgiveness. Yeah. Now, 5 things everybody needs to know. 5 things everybody needs to know. Now, if you are brand new here, if you just came here, my agreement is come in as a payment to do this. You say payment. As a help, I need you to tell 5 people, go down, hit this little arrow right here, and invite 5 people. You over here in TikTok, you invite 10. Just go down and invite them, and we're going to share these 5 things. I'm going to break them down for you. I'm going to break them down because these are things that are going to help you. You need to know these. Some of you may know them. Some of you may never know them, never heard them before in your life, whichever. But I ask you to do one thing for me. Write everything down. If you have a question, write your question down and bring your question back to me, because I don't want you to leave this call. I don't want you to leave this call and not know what needs to take place in your life. Okay? Now, for those of you who just got here, we're talking about seasons. What seasons do, seasons change. Now, check this out. Y'all gonna like this. Y'all gonna like this. Seasons change the atmosphere to be more conducive for what you desire. Seasons change the atmosphere to be more conducive for what you desire. Now, what does that mean? The winter season, peaches have to go through a winter season. The frost has to be on the peach to make the peach sweet. Did y'all know that? So in the South, there was a frost that would come and it would cover the peach groves. And what that peach grove would do is kind of seal in the juices for the peach. So the season of winter was better for peaches. It means the peaches were going to grow and be stronger. Your seasons are set so that they make what you desire from God, from yourself, from your situation, your circumstance. It's a fresh new part. It's a fresh new way for you to get to the next level. You follow me? It's a fresh new way for you to get to the new level. But you have to understand seasons. Is that Staples? You have to understand seasons. If you don't understand seasons, what you will try to do is create your own season. Now, what the Bible says is creating your own righteousness. It says create your own righteousness. But you have to understand that seasons are there for your benefit. They're not there for you to go, oh my God, it's too cold. Because most of us attach to a season, then we respond negatively to the season as if we can control that season instead of benefiting from that season. Does everybody follow me there? So remember, seasons, patience, perseverance, forgiveness. Staples, give me a call. I just thought about something. I was trying to call you, but I got really busy. You got it? So what you have to realize is, are you in the season that you need to be? Now, here's the key. It doesn't matter the season that you're in. You simply make the proper adjustments to that season. Okay? It doesn't matter what season you're in. If it's cold, wear a coat. If it's hot, wear less clothes. Wear sunglasses. Make the season work for you. Stop looking at the season as it's something against you. Right now, the first thing you need to understand, and I'm going to start with my 5 things. 5 things. Everybody that's here, I'm going to teach you 5 things everybody needs to know. Some of you know, some of you don't know. But please, 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 please take notes. This is not recorded. I'm not going to write this down. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to give it, and you will be the people that now can take it and give it to everybody else. I'm giving you free game. Take it, do what you got to do with it. Okay? First thing, very first thing, number 1. Everybody ready? If you're ready, give me a heart. Let me see if you're ready. Hearts, 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 hearts. Everybody, if you're ready for these 5 things, let me know. I need to know. Yeah, there we go. I want to know that it's ready, because I want you not to go, oh no, we're not. No. Okay, we're ready. All right. Now, they're going to be principles, revelations, and understanding. That's what these 5 things are going to be. All right. So first thing you need to know, when you write something down, it has a higher percentage of coming to pass. There's a principle in the Bible that says, write the vision, make it plain. So anything you write down, it has a higher percentage. As a matter of fact, I think I read something that said it has a 65 to a 75% percentage or possibility of happening. So what you have got to do, number one, always write stuff down. Why? Number one, it makes a contract with your future. Number two, it keeps record of where you need to be at a specific time. Write down in detail. Don't just write, I want to be rich. Write down how you want to be rich. How would you get to being rich? Write down. Now hear me. I'm going to show something. I'm going to show you a little quick hack. When you write down the description of what it takes, in most people it's called a business plan. But we'll get to that later. If you write down what it takes for you to get wealthy, you write down those details. What will happen, please hear me. I'm trying to help y'all. When you write the details down, what will happen is the spirit that is inside of you will fill in the blanks. What you will understand is your spirit will begin to draw to you the things that are according to what you wrote. It will begin to attract to you what you wrote. Number one, write everything down. Number one, get you calendars, I have notebooks on top of notebooks on top of notebooks. Write down. Now, don't type it. Don't recite it into a book. Write it down. Why? Because anything that is registered in the Holy Bible, I just call it the Holy Bible, in the book has some credence beyond the being written. When he says, write the vision, make it plain that they may run that read it, he's saying the actual action, and there's science that have said this, the actual action of writing touches certain stimulus in your mind and makes it easier for you to remember. When I was young in the Lord, or young in my studies, they would tell me, try to write the entire scripture out and you'll remember it. And it worked. I remember I kept writing Romans. I wrote Romans, the 12th chapter, over and over and over again. I remember Romans like it's nothing. But what happens is, as you write it down, it goes into your frontal lobe. It also goes into your muscle memory. So your hand is remembering what you wrote and registering it in your brain. Your brain is reading what you wrote and registering it in your brain, and your feelings are attaching to it. So now that gives it the higher chance of manifestation. Number one, write everything down. You got that? Everybody got that? Was that good? Y'all like that? Write it down. That's number one. Write it down. Write it down. Now, number two lines up with number one. Number two, here's an equation you need to understand to bring manifestation. So number one is write everything down. Number two is called the 30-day equation. It's called the 30-day equation. All right? Number two, operate in the 30-day equation. What's the 30-day equation? The 30-day equation is prayer and confession of the exact same thing for 30 days. You pray about it, you confess it for 30 days. Now, what does that do? That then validates prayer and confession. Actually, it should be prayer, the 5 things that you should pray, meditate, praise, worship, and declaration. I did a teaching on that. But prayer and confession, which is the end. Prayer is the beginning, confession is the end. Prayer and confession bring manifestation to your mind. It makes your mind know what you're doing. Right now, your mind is telling you a lie. The reason it's telling you a lie because it knows that it's telling you what you've told it. I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too young, I'm too cold, you've told it. So what you do is you then confess the lie that your mind has told you instead of reprogramming your mind. So I'm teaching you how to reprogram. 30-day equation. Now, here's the key to this equation. Here's the hack that nobody's going to tell you about. These 5 things will change your life. All right? This is number 2. Here's the hack. When you pray, when you confess, you do not pray as a futuristic thing. You pray as a present thing. You do not pray futuristic. You don't pray, well, I'm going to have a car. Well, I'm going to have a house. You pray as if you have it. And what happens is, like in writing, it begins to draw to what you are talking about. Your brain actually monitors, which is number 3, Remember, your brain monitors the thing between you and the spirit. Take your time and write that down. Number 3 is your brain monitors between your spirit and your body. Okay, now let's jump back to number 2. Number 2, so your 30-day confession and prayer should be this. God, I thank you for, I'm going to use cars because we like cars. God, I thank you for the new Mercedes-Benz. I appreciate you. Father, I pray over it. I cover it. I thank you, God, that no matter what happens, you protect us to it. You protect us over it. You make sure everything takes place. God, even as I drive, make sure the air conditioning works. Why? What your brain is going to do the first couple of days is go, what are you talking about? What? You don't have a Mercedes. But you begin to tell your brain because, listen, your brain can only accept information because what your brain is a catch and release. It means that it only can catch it and release it. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't have thoughts. All it does is take in information and send out the appropriate spiritual vibration and connection to the spirit. So what your brain does is simply response and release. You hurt your foot. Your brain doesn't know you hurt your foot, but the signal from your foot says to your brain, something just happened. Your brain goes through all the different things that could possibly happen, and then it takes the other eyes, the senses, the smell, and determines like, well, I see the cabinet. I see that it's dark, so you probably hit your foot. You ever notice that you'll think something, go, well, that's not right. Your brain has come to a conclusion and said, this is what I've concluded. I've concluded you hit your foot. Then you realize you didn't hit your foot, you stepped on a piece of glass. Why? Because your brain is not thinking. Your brain is receiving information and then sending the appropriate help. So when you begin to tell your brain that I thank God for the millions that we have. I appreciate God that we were able to buy the house that we wanted. We want to do all these different things. Are you lying to your brain? No, what you're doing is reprogramming your brain to go to another level. You follow me? I got to repent, y'all. I'm about to say this. I'm going to put this on YouTube. So that means number 2 is 30 days of doing that. Get up in the morning, write it down, and pray over it and confess. Pray over it and confess. So what you say is, okay, I get up in the morning and go, I read my thing, okay? I wrote down today I'm going to make $47,000 by the end of this week. That's what it is. I'm making $47,000. This is how I'm going to do it. So once I wrote it, it's done with the history part of it. Writing is done with the history part. So my writing created a contract. Okay? My writing created a contract. Okay? So I wrote it down and said, okay, I'm going to make $47,000. So second part is I'm using my equation. So I get in a quiet place, get away from everybody. Number 3, get consistent. Be there every day at a consistent spot. Why? That does another muscle memory. So I sit down and I go, thank you, God, for this $47,000. I thank you. Now we can take care of this thing. We can take care of this thing. And we take care of this thing. And God, whatever you want me to do, I appreciate you because I have the $47,000. And I thank you that $47,000 is right where it came. It's right on time. Thank you. Why? Now what you do is you set up the opportunity for you to now change your brain. Day 1, it's going to sound silly. Day 2, it's going to sound silly. But around day 3, it's going to start to make sense. 30 days changes direction. 60 days creates a habit. Write that down. 30 days changes direction. 60 days creates a habit. 30 days changes direction. 60 days changes the habit. We're on number 3. And I'm going to go back to number 3 because I touched on it because it was important to number 2. Number 3. Remember that your mind is a monitor between the spirit and the physical. Now, what does that mean? That means everything you put into your brain is either going to receive it from the spirit and give it to the body or receive it from the body and block the spirit. So every thought that comes into your mind, this is number 3. I'm sorry, just use it. Number 3 is every thought that comes into your mind is not your thought. Stop giving residence to thoughts that don't line up with your promise, with your plan, your past. Stop giving residence to thoughts that don't line up with your direction.
a lot of you happen to fall into this thing where something comes into your mind and you think that thing that came into your mind is you. It's not you. It's something their brain is taking, and it says when sin is conceived, it brings forth death. So your brain does not remember. Stop giving residence to things that aren't yours. Every thought is not yours. That's why the Bible says, bring every thought into the obedience of your spirit, or into Christ, or the anointing. Why? Because every thought that comes through your mind, my sister, my brother, it's not your thought. But if you give it residence, it begins to convince your brain to speak to your body and block your spirit. Your spirit is the number one thing that you should do in order to move in any area of your life. Why? Because your spirit is universal. Your brain is complex. It is one of the most complex things that will ever happen in your life. Your brain is very complex. The key to it is your brain is simply a computer. When you buy a computer, if there's no software on it, it's just a very complex thing that's not been told what to do. So these are, I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna go back over, these are 5 things that'll change your life. So what you have to realize is that the thoughts that go in determine to kick the computer off. It boots the computer. Your thoughts boot the computer. So if your thoughts are from how you feel, it boots the computer toward how you feel. So that's an Apple computer. We'll just play it like that. But if it's a thoughts that come from what your spirit is telling you, then you have a PC. So now you are stuck between, should I act like an Apple computer or should I act like a PC? Should I follow my spirit or should I follow my mind? Follow my spirit or follow my flesh? Why? Because every thought that comes to your mind is not yours. Number 3, every thought, yes, I know monitoring, every thought that comes to your mind is not yours. If you take it as yours, then you're held responsible to the thought. If you take it as yours, you're held responsible for the thought. Y'all ain't got it. Y'all ain't got it yet. Okay, you get up in the morning. Let's say you just get out of bed. You get out of bed, you'll use the bathroom. Once you get out of bed, you walk into the kitchen. The kitchen is cold. You got on, let's say you just got on a t-shirt and shorts. The kitchen is cold. Your body begins to say, go get a blanket, go get a coat, go get socks, go get shoes. Did your mind know anything about that before? No. It is simply responding to the situation. So when you start thinking about it, let's do it, you're married. So you, let's see, Just Be Real goes into the kitchen and her husband left the air conditioner on. So now she is now mad at the husband because he left the air conditioner on. And the reason she's mad at him, because her brain told her to be mad at him about it because she's cold. Your brain is just a response unit. The key to a computer is what's on the memory, what's in your hard drive. And sometimes you have to take your hard drive and tear all the stuff off the hard drive. I just did this on my last computer. I deleted everything off the hard drive except the operation system, or the OS. That's what OS stands for. OS, they say OS 5, that's Operation System 5. Except the OS. So I deleted everything except the operation system. Now, once I did that, I was able to put what information I wanted on the computer instead of what was on the computer before. Your mind is a processing unit. Over the last 30, 40, 50 years, you've been placed under the control of somebody that has been programming your computer. You got me? So, what's number 1? Number 1, write everything down. Number 2, the equation, 30-day equation. Number 3, don't let everything register in your mind. Don't let everything register in your mind. Don't hold on to anything that's not registering in your mind. The Bible says, take into captivity every thought. What's number 4? Number 4 is very simple. Listen consistently, think briefly, move quickly. Listen consistently, think briefly, move quickly. Did everybody get that? Everybody get that? Listen consistently, think briefly, move quickly. Why do we do that? Why is that important? Listen consistently. Consistently stay connected to the Spirit. Consistently stay connected to what's going on. Consistently move toward your thing. Listen consistently. Which way you should turn. Listen consistently. Think briefly. Don't think about it too long. Think briefly, move quickly. Got it? What you have to understand is when you operate like that, you give yourself a higher chance or a higher probability of making something happen. You follow me? Listen consistently. Think briefly, move quickly. Everybody got that? Why? Here's the thing you need to understand. Understand this right now. There are things that are going to happen in your life that are going to change your life today, tomorrow, the next day. The only control, and then number 5, I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you number 5. Okay? The only thing that stops you from moving to those things is you outthink yourself. Some of you have missed opportunities because you overthought it. You ever hear people say you overthinking the situation? Because you think briefly. Briefly is thought. Listen consistently. Now, here's how you listen. You listen spiritually when you pray, using your 30-day equation. I'm doing a 30-day class. Matter of fact, I'm doing a 30-day power class too. Listen consistently. And once you listen consistently, you move, you think simply. Why? Because you're thinking of which direction to take. That's it. Then go take the direction. Then go take the direction. Why? Because when you listen, I do this crazy research online. So I'm looking at what I've heard. So if it's crazy, it doesn't hurt anybody, but it's the stuff that I read. So I listen to anything that you hear. You have 3 seconds to make it happen. Anything that you hear, you have 3 seconds to make it happen. There's a scripture that says this. Follow me here. He says, when the seed is planted, the enemy comes in immediately to steal the seed. So when something is said to you and that you decided and let that thing has resonance, or God has spoken something, or your spirit has said something, or you receive something, you're all of a sudden, all of your fears, all the things that make you can't do it, it jumps on that thing quickly. Jumps on it quickly. Why? Because it cannot allow you to move outside of the protection of your mind. The protection of your mind. That's the challenge. You try to get beyond the protection of your mind because your mind is protecting you to stay mediocre. Your mind is protecting you to stay here. It doesn't want you to go out there. It doesn't want you to go out and get any other thoughts. Why? Because your mind is the path of least resistance. So when you think of something, you begin to think of something and go, oh, wait a minute. I know that situation. And then you go, I should move. No, don't move because your cousin did it, your Pookie did it. Oh, so what is that? This is why you listen consistently. This is why you do your 30 days. This is why you do all these things keep you in the flow of what is happening. It keeps you in the flow of what is happening. You follow me? So what's the first one? Listen consistently. Keep your mind open toward the Spirit. Keep your mind open toward your atmosphere. Be aware of yourself. That's what meditation. I teach a class called the 5 things: prayer, meditation, praise, worship, declaration. Stay aware of what's going on. This is what I do. I stay aware. And opportunities present themselves. I was getting ready to go to get something to eat one day, and my spirit said, you need to go to McCormick and Schmidt. Everybody knows about that. You need to go to McCormick and Schmidt. McCormick and Schmidt it's going to cost you maybe $150 to eat for 2. So you need to go to McCormick and Schmidt. So I go to McCormick and Schmidt. My wife and I, we go eat everything that we order what we order. Because I knew my spirit said go to McCormick and Schmidt, but I'm aware of everything. I'm aware of everything that's happening. We sit in McCormick and Schmidt. While we're sitting in McCormick and Schmidt, we see people that we know. Because we've been there a couple of times. Apparently the people know us and we didn't know the people, or whatever the situation is. They go back and tell them that the Dallases are there. They come up and take care of our meal. We don't pay a dime for our meal. And so we got you, Dallas. Because I'm aware. Some of you will say, I'm not going to McCormick and Smith. That costs too much. I'm not going to do that because you think brief, you listen briefly, you think long, and you move. No, you don't move at all. And then finally, movement. Move quickly. Do not let your mind and your body gang up on you to make you not move. Your life is created under number 4. Your life is created under agreement. Whichever two agree, that's what controls the movement. If your mind and your body agree, that controls the movement. If your mind and spirit agree, that controls your movement. Your movement is controlled by agreement. These are the 5 things that are going to change you. Your movement is controlled by the agreement. You got that? All right. Now, I'm going to stop here before I do number 5. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns? This is what we call stop for station identification. I'm pausing for a station identification. Does anybody have any questions, comments, and concerns? I know I'm an amazing teacher. I know that I touched on everything because that's how I think. I think detail. I don't think in overshadow and overall. I think details. Okay? All right. All right. Now, didn't I tell? Now, okay, let me ask you. Didn't I tell y'all to invite people? What is it worth waiting? Are these 5 things worth waiting? Are you learning something about is this helping your life? Is this helping your life? Come on, tell me yes if it's helping. If it's helping your life, let me know. If these 5 things are helping your life, let me know. Because that's what I'm here for. That's the whole thing. When you're listening consistently, you're listening not only for direction, but you're listening for how to respond to the situation. 30 and 60 days. 30 days creates a change. 30 days creates a change. 60 days creates a habit. 30 days creates a change. 60 days creates a habit. Okay? 30 days creates a change. 60 days creates a habit. All right? Okay, let's see what else I see. I saw that. The first 3. Number one, write everything down. I'm going to put this on YouTube, so you'll be able to get it. Number 1, write everything down. Number 2, the 30-day equation. That's pray and confess the same things for 30 days. Okay, who knows number 3? Let's see if y'all taking note. What's number 3? Somebody write number 3. And I just said, what's number 3? Oh, I'm going down. Yeah. That's right. That's right, Tip. Don't allow anything to come in your mind that doesn't belong to you. Don't allow anything in your mind that's not yours. Your mind is under control of you. Don't allow anything in your mind. Good job, guys. Good job. Don't let the wrong thoughts don't let the long thoughts reside. Very good. Very, very good. I love it. 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 Now, number 4 is listen consistently, think briefly, move quickly. Number 5. Control your emotions. Don't stop your emotions. Don't change your emotions. Control your emotions. One of the keys to making something happen, because your emotions sound just like your spirit. Control your emotions. Number 5, number 5 is huge. Control your emotions. We talked about forgiveness. Control your emotions. This is important because when you control your emotions, number 5 again, control your emotions. when you control your emotions, you can control your movement. Okay? Reside. I like that. When you control your emotions, you can control your movement. For example, there are some of you right now that if I cut the lights off and put you in a dark room, you're going to be afraid. There's nothing in the room. We can guarantee there's nothing in the room, but you're afraid. Why? Because your emotions will trick you into thinking that what you're dealing with is real. The reason you control your emotions is this. Your emotions are a reflection of what's in your past. Your emotions are a reflection of what's in your past. So when you are allowing your emotions to control, it is continually moving you backwards toward your past. You follow me? So when I tell, there are 5 things that, now guys, thanks for joining us. We're doing 5 things that you need to know. You control your emotions. Now, everybody says, oh, I'm going to try my best to control your emotions. How you have to control your emotion is you can put under 5A is perspective. 5A is perspective. Here's how you control your emotions. Now, this is a hard one. Auntie, somebody in your family dies, okay? If that person passes away, you love that person with all your life, but you have a choice. You can either go to the person's funeral, or you can go and pick up the promise of your $5 million and your house and your car. The guy says, I'm going to be there on January 15th. They're going to bury Auntie on January 15th. Which one do you do? Which one do you do? Why? That's perspective. Auntie B, you go to get your money. Just be real. You go get your money. That's what Just Be Real said. She said, I just go get my money. I go get my money. That's the whole thing. You put things into perspective. Put things into perspective. I love Auntie. I think Auntie is the greatest auntie in the world. But Auntie is not going to come back because I see Auntie. Auntie is not going to come back because I see Auntie. Auntie's only going to be where Auntie is. So what most people understand, and here's where the problem happens. Here's where the challenge happens. Most people have a challenge because they go, well, I'm being what you call materialistic if I go after the money. No, my dear. No, my honey. No, my sister. No. You're not being materialistic. You're being real and rational. That's what you have to understand. That's how you control your emotions. You put realistic perspective and rational into that thing. You don't allow yourself to be caught up in the emotion, because a lot of you are caught up in the emotion of what this situation has done to you, or who you like, or what people are going to say. Oh, your mama going to be mad, your auntie going to be mad, but you'll be rich. Pay them and tell them to shut up. How much money I got to give you to stop talking to me about this subject? You follow me? Why? You got to understand that money is not bad. The love of money is bad, but money is not bad. Having what you have. So in your perspective of emotion, here's the thing you have to understand to control your emotion. It's about effective movement. It is not about feeling. It's about effective movement. It's not about your feeling. It's about effective movement. Okay? It's about effective movement. And when you understand effective movement, you can understand to put things into perspective. Your emotions have to be controlled. Your spirit has to be given freedom to move. It's your symbolic walking on the water. You're symbolically walking on the water. Whenever you are dealing with a situation that is a challenge, which one of the situations, and this is going to sound interesting to some of you don't, when you're dealing with a situation, which one of the situations moves me closer to my promise? Being mad at you, or keep moving? Being upset because she wore my shoes, or keep moving? See, we get stuck in the soul tie of apathy, of laziness, we get stuck in this thing because we don't want to keep moving, because if we keep moving, some people not like it, some people don't understand it, and because I'm still moving, they don't understand what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. keep moving. Always be moving. Now, are there any questions, comments, or concerns about what I'm saying? Now, anybody did not understand the 5 things, anything that you did not understand about the 5 things, please let me know. Now, that is my basic class. I just did one of my basic classes for what I do. I did one of my basic classes. I didn't charge anybody, not going to charge anybody. That's something you need to know, and you need to understand how to do that in your life. You need those 5 things. So, you need those 5 things. So, if you understand those 5 things will change your life. Those 5 things will put you in a position where your life is changed. Now, my YouTube is Higher Talk. YouTube at Higher Talk. The way to know which one it is, we have 1,000, right now we have 1,000 people subscribed. My YouTube is Higher Talk. Now, I am doing, can you explain again? I just came in. The whole thing? Explain the whole thing? No, I can't explain the whole thing. I thank y'all very much. Now, 2 things for station identification. Number 1, starting September 1st, I'm doing a 30-day empowerment training. That means every day for 30 days, we're going to do an empowerment training. Number 2, I'm doing a master class. If you are interested in knowing about either one of those things, the master class or the 30-day empowerment class course, 30-day empowerment plan, go to admin@higherstandards.life. This is kind of what it looks like. I can't, it's not going to be good. It's admin@higherstandards.life. Did y'all get that? Somebody type that in the thing. Admin, do it over here in TikTok and do it on Instagram. TikTok and Instagram. Admin@higherstandards.life. So if you want to be a part of our 30-day challenge, or if you want to be a part of our want to get to the YouTube channel, if you like this teaching, if you like the teaching in any way, if you wanted more of this kind of teaching, we do I have a mentoring class that I do every week. We do this. I teach this at a higher level. This is just external. Can you imagine what I really teach? This is just external. So go to admin. There we go. Thank you. Admin. Let me see if I can save this for you right here. Okay, pin that. Okay, if you're on TikTok, Instagram, go to admin@higherstandards.life. Same thing over here. You see skincare and candle. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Saying put down admin@higherstandards.life. Now that's all I'm saying about that. If you want to join that, go to admin@higherstandards.life. You follow me? Saying, turn that into a question. Saying, ask a question for admin.life. As a matter of fact, she's one of our mentees. She's a part of the mentoring class. Now, that being said, are there any questions about the 5 things that you need to know? Any questions? Now, if you just got here and you didn't get them, I don't have a problem going over them. But teaching them, I'm not going to teach them. It was 30 minutes of teaching, so I'm not going to teach them. But this will be I will put this on YouTube. I will go ahead and put this on YouTube so you guys can look at it. So admin@higherstandards with an S, standards plural, higherstandards.life. No, Sam, you cannot ask a question. So if you have any questions other than Sam's question, go ahead, ask the question. Any questions? If you are ready for a new place in your spiritual walk and a new place in movement, and you want to grow in these things, you need to let us know, because I want to help you. That's my whole job. This is not religious. The master class is called Beyond the Bible. How do you live beyond the Bible? How do you live beyond religion? How do you live beyond Christianity? Those things can be done, and I want to teach you how to do them. And some of these things that I talked about are those things. Oh, they won't allow anybody to ask questions. I never knew that. TikTok won't allow you to ask questions. But like I said, any other questions, comments, or concerns? If not, I'm getting out of here. Like I said, if you are interested in the mentoring class, any of the classes, also do a recorded inspirational moment every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I send you out a recording and it just inspires you, tells you some things, be strong, be good, be those kind of things. So what's up, Star Healthy Life? So for all practical purposes, that part is done. I'm done. My YouTube is Higher Talk. Higher Talk. Go to youtube.com, Higher Talk. youtube.com, Higher Talk. Now, the 5 things are done. I'm just kind of hanging out now. I've done the 5 things. They're already recorded. They're going to be on, I'm going to put them on YouTube, and you can go look at them a little bit later. If you feel like this has blessed you, you want to be a blessing to the organization, HSO Life. HSO Life is our Cash App. Thank you for all the flowers and for all the likes. I appreciate that. HSO Life. HSO, Higher Standards Organization Life. We are a nonprofit organization. So what we do is all of our monies go into teaching and building and helping and growing the organization. So HSO Life, if you feel like you want to be a blessing to us, doesn't matter how much, we don't really care. If you don't do it, we're not going to be mad at you, because I understand that some people are dealing with whatever they're dealing with. So those 5 things will change you if you realize those 5 things. Now, do I need to repeat them again before I go? Do I need to repeat the 5 things again? If I need to repeat them again, let me know. How many were blessed by this? How many did this really help? I mean, it really did help you. How many of you were really helped by this? How many were really helped by what just took place, what we just talked about? Thank you. Somebody sent a Cash App. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. How many really helped? Okay. If it really helped you, I'm glad, because that's my purpose. My purpose is to help you. My purpose is okay, Miss Highly Favored. You missed them, Highly Favored? How you missed them? How did you miss them? Leslie West, Keeley. Okay. Can I repeat the 5 things? Okay. Ready? You ready? Okay. Here are the 5 things. Here are the 5 things. Thank you very much for the blessing. We thank God for you. We appreciate you. We pray for you. Pray that everything happens. Number 1, write everything down. The portion I heard was far differently. Write everything down. It's going to be on the it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube. Yeah, I think. I'm going to try to get on YouTube. I'm going to do my best. Number 1, write everything down. Number 2, 30-day equation. Pray confession for 30 days. Every day for 30 days, pray and confession. Okay? 30 days. Number 3, your mind is yours. Don't allow things to get into your mind, to take residence in your mind. Every thought that comes is not your thought. Number 4, listen consistently, think briefly, move quickly. Number 5, control your emotions and put things into perspective. Control your emotions and put things into perspective. All right? Control your emotions and put things into perspective. Those are the 5. Those are the 5 things. Those 5 things, if you follow those 5 things, it'll change your life. I promise. It'll change your life. If you follow those 5 things. Okay? Like I said, if you want to go deeper, if you're ready for deep, we do a masterclass, Beyond the Bible masterclass. If you're ready to go deeper, it's always going to be hard to do. Anything worth getting done is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It's going to take a challenge. But if you want to go into any deeper, we have a power couple, not a power couple. We have a Beyond the Bible masterclass. That's where we go deep. You think there's spirits around you. Maybe you have a gift. Maybe you need to know more about prayer. Maybe and it is a concept that will change how you see your life. It's not just a biblical concept. It's not just a spiritual concept. It's a concept to change your life. So we have a masterclass. That masterclass is starting in September. So if you want to be a part of the masterclass, admin, that's what my dear daughter is doing. Admin at higherstandards.life. That's just simply go in there, send me an email, go, hey, I want to know about the masterclass. I'll tell you everything about the masterclass. Or I want to know anything you want to know. I want to know where your website is. I want to know where your YouTube is. I want to know how to bless the organization. I want to know all those things. Thank you again. People, thank you for giving on Cash App. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. God bless y'all. And y'all don't have to do that. And it doesn't matter how small it is. I appreciate you. I appreciate you anyway. I appreciate you. So any of those things that you want to do and those things you want to be a part of, just simply go to admin@higherstandards.life and simply say, hey, Uncle Dallas, I want to do this. Or Uncle Dallas, I want to see this. Even if you want to talk about something that has to do with you, your situation, your circumstance, just go to admin@higherstandards.life and we will get you whatever appropriate information you have. Okay? All right. So anything else? Anything else y'all want to talk about? Don't want to talk about anything else? All right. All right. Okay, guys, I thank you very much. Admin@higherstandards.life is the email. The Cash App is HOSLife at $HOSLife. That's the Cash App. That's what we do. All right. I thank you very much, very much. Let me say this before I go. I do want to say this before I go. There's a number 6 to these things. Know your worth. Let me go back to the 4 things I went to. Understand your season. So when you are writing, you write according to the season. You don't write just to be right. You write according to the season. Know your season. Know your season. See, we have to understand that seasons that we deal with right now, those seasons are there to put us in a better place. Thank you very much. Those seasons are there to put us in a better place. So know your seasons. Learn patience, preservation. Keep going. Perseverance. Learn to be patient. Keep pressing, and forgiveness. Higher talk. HIGHERTALK, persistence. That's the word. I couldn't say it to save my life. Higher talk. Go to YouTube/higher talk. And there'll be 4 of them. The one that has 1,000, I think it's 1.7 thousand people following. That's the one that we do. Persistence. That's what. Patience, persistence, and forgiveness. Patience, persistence, and forgiveness. Oh, we also have, what is that called? Apple Pay. I forgot about that. I don't ever use it. But we have Apple Pay as well. Patience, persistence, and forgiveness. And you really need to hear the forgiveness. It's the whole teaching on it. I didn't do anything with it. I'm not going over the whole thing because it was good, but I'm not going over the whole thing. The whole thing. All right. Higher talk. YouTube. And now, if you go to the YouTube channel, it's going to change your world, baby. It's going to change your world, I promise. It's going to change who you are. Because I believe in the Bible, but I know that the lowest level of spirituality is religion. The next lowest level is Christianity. Now, I lost half of y'all just then. The highest level of spirituality is your ability to be godly. Is your ability to be godly. And I cannot believe I left my water in there. The highest form of spirituality is your ability to be godly. The highest form of spirituality is your ability to be godly. That's number 6. Don't be religious. Don't stay Christian. Be godly. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, for example, Jesus would always say, I only do that I see my Father do. Okay? So, number 1, Christianity was a label that was given in the Old Testament in the book of Acts. Christianity was not what they were called. Christianity says Christ-like. But you're not like Christ. You're like God. Third thing is, religion is the basic structure to teach you how to understand your connection between your earth, or your reality, and God's reality. That's what religion is all about. It controls your connection to God. Religion says we come into church, we do the offering, we pray our songs, they sing, they control it. They control your system of God. Now that's good for people that don't know God. Third thing about religion. Religion puts you in a position where it bases your life on rituals instead of spirituals or spirituality. So that means that wearing white gloves to do communion is not God's perfect will. We set that up. Don't touch the altar. Don't do all those things we set up. And they're good for people that don't know God. The other thing is, this is one of the first and only places where you go into the place knowing nothing about what you go in the place for, and then you let them teach you. If they want you to be a professional baseball player, you should know something about baseball. If you want to play basketball, you should know something about basketball. But the key becomes, when you come into church, you should know something about spirituality. You don't have to know everything, but you should know that there is a God. You probably do. Then, when you go to the basketball coach, he's teaching you how to be a better basketball player. You go to the baseball coach, he's teaching you how to be a better baseball player. You go to the football coach, he's teaching you how to be a better football player. You got it? In church, we're teaching you how to be religious. We're not teaching you how to be a better spiritual person. So, Christianity, spirituality, and spirituality, Christianity, religious are a stair step. So what happens is, this is why Christ says, I only do that I see my Father do. And Philippians actually says to be equal with God. Big time difference. To be equal with God. It says that in the book. So we've never been taught to be, my job is to teach you how to be equal with God. Ephesians even says that when you were yet sinners, he sent Christ to die and set you at the right hand of the Father. So it says he set you at his right hand when you were a sinner. How does that work? It's a spiritual thing. That's where we do. So when I teach you about the deepness of the spirituality, when I teach you in the master class how to move and get the spirits out of your house, when I teach you that you don't need sage because you have an anointing, it makes you move in a situation where you can go anywhere and the power of God is there. Not just go certain to church places. There's a friend of mine that I told her, stop going to church. Why did I say that? They were abusing her, disrespecting her. Yeah, exactly, Star. No, you're not the ye are gods. They were abusing her. They were disrespecting her. But ladies and gentlemen, she would not stop going to church. She would and kept going back to the same church, the same place. Why? Because they've never taught you about spirituality. They've given you a soul tie. They've given you a soul tie. So when I do my master class, we're going to dig into that thing. That's what the master class is about. I have a mentoring group. We got over 200 something people at the in our mentoring list. Over 250 people in the mentoring list. But there are people that I'm pulling out and say, okay, now you need to know more about why do certain things happen? Why are you connected to soul tie? What is a soul tie? Why is there a soul tie? All these things you need to know about so that you can be free. Some of you are millionaires walking around. Some of you are healers walking around. Some of you hear the voice of God more than others walking around. Right now, you're so clouded with the stuff that happens in your life that you can't get forward. Join my class. Join my class. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I'm making sense. I know it's kind of late, but am I making sense? Can I go deeper? Can I go deep? Yeah, can I go deeper? I really want to, but if y'all say no, I'm not going to go any deeper. But there's even deep. There's even deeper than that. These are things. There's deeper than that. If you want me to go deeper, okay. You sure? You sure? Okay, I'll go deeper. I'll go deeper. Here's to go deeper. I'll go deeper. 3 people have to take my mentoring class. The deep class. Now this is not a free class. The master class is not a free class. It's not a free class. Go deeper. How many want to take the class? If I told you the class was $500, how many would take the class? I'm gonna mess with y'all now. How many would take the class? If I told you the class was, if I told you my master class, it's a 6-month master class, was $500, how many would take it? I'm not gonna make you take it. I'm just saying how many would take it. How many would take it? If it was if I told you I'm going to take you to a point where manifestation will happen, where things will happen, I see you saying you're already taking the class. Stop playing. If manifestation will happen, change will happen, things will then change in your life. How many would take the class? Now that's the rubber hitting the road. Good word, Donna. Good word. Donna said it correctly. I would thank you, Leslie. See, that's what I'm saying. Now I can go deep. Now I can go deep. Because that's the mentality you need. Thank you. Thank you. Leslie said it depends on what you're teaching. I mean, not Leslie. Donna says it depends on the teaching. Leslie said, wow, I would consider it. That's the mindset you need. That's the mindset you need. So let's go deeper. Y'all ready? Okay. So now, what you have to understand is that the confessions you make are actually spiritual. So what you have to realize is you have established soul ties to things that make you comfortable. Now, let me make sense of that. You are not connected to God by going to church. You're connected to the ritual. So what happens is, as you begin to operate in the ritual, you deepen the soul tie. See, we've been taught soul ties are the ties that you have sexually when you connect to people. But what soul tie actually is anything that alters your natural flow. Oh, and by the way, the mentoring class is not $500. I mean the master class is not $500. So get that out your mind. So soul ties do that. So what happens is, as you begin to confess, you now are validating your connection to this religious thing, which means that you stop yourself from moving in the things that God has for you. He says, so as a man thinketh, so is he. So what has happened is you keep confessing who you are, and who you are then begins to be released from your brain. Y'all ready for the deep part? Everything you are right now has been given to you, and you've allowed it to happen in your life. But they secretly did it to you by getting you to confess it. Over the years, you kept saying, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. I don't feel good. I don't feel good. Then you stop feeling good. Over the years, you said, when I get 60, I don't want to be old when I get 60. So you set yourself 60 when it's get old. When you say my knees hurt, my back hurt, all those things. That's why I say take every thought into captivity. You can confess and change. This is one of the 30 days. One of the things I said on I think it was number 2. It was number 2. 30-day equation. You can bring yourself out of it and start changing the direction. Literally, you can change how your muscles move. You can change all those things, because what happens to you is 2 different things. Number 1, as you confess it, your mind becomes it. When your mind becomes it, it begins to send the proper endorphins and blood and energy to your body to make it what it is. But the second thing that happens is your mind begins to attract remedies. You know, when you buy a car, a new car, you start seeing everybody that has that car. That's the same concept. So it attracts remedies. So if you have diabetes right now, for those who have diabetes, you have diabetes right now. You're watching the TV and the TV says your not glucose. What is your I can't think of the word that you take in darn, I know it's right on the tip of my tongue. They tell you that's why that happens. Insulin levels. So what happens is they give you insulin. Then they tell you, well, the reason your insulin level is down because of this. I'm going deep now. The reason your insulin levels are down, Did you know that your body can produce insulin, which means that you can begin to convince your body to begin to produce insulin, plus it will have an appetite for the things that you should eat and drink to increase the insulin or your A1C. Check this out. I was getting ready to go somewhere and I needed to do something. And I didn't know this was years ago. And I had a taste for fish. I just could not get, I wanted fish, 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 fish. I ate fish for like a week, every day. Fish, 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 fish. I just had a taste. See, what you have to know in the depth of your super spiritual things, this is what I'm telling you. This is masterclass stuff. It's late, so I'm gonna give it to you. I had to realize that if I let my spirit talk to my brain will attach an appetite to what my spirit told me. So I'm eating fish, fish, fish. I had catfish, I had flounder, I had trout. I was just eating fish for the whole week. I was with a friend of mine, and he said, "What you gonna?" I said, "Fish again." He said, "Why?" I said, "Dude, I just got a taste for fish." He said, "You must need something done for your brain." I said, "Wait." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Fish is brain food." God had given me an appetite for fish to help my brain. I'm not that deep, but he has the power over your body. So while you're dealing with your AC1 or what you're doing is you're limiting your ability to let the spirit tell you what to do to get out of this thing. 30-day equation helps you with that. Masterclass. Now, the key to this is if you follow the process, he will give you something not only to heal it, but to keep it forever coming back again. When I said, follow me now, when I said, this is what I was looking for. When I said, if the masterclass was $500, would you take it? I was looking to see if you said, yes, if I can make payments on it. Yes, I need to know what you're teaching. Because what that says is, I want more and I will investigate more. That's a trust of God and an appreciation for the next level. Now, no disrespect to everybody because y'all don't know me. Some of y'all have never seen me before in your life. You'll know if I'm telling the truth or I'm telling a lie. But what happens is you've got to get into that place. I told you I went to McCormick and Smith. They paid my McCormick and Smith. Would y'all like a better one? My wife and I were going to a restaurant one time. Well, while I was on my way to the restaurant, I could not find my credit card. I didn't say anything to my wife, but we were going to a restaurant, nice restaurant. We go into the restaurant. As we go into the restaurant, there are $2 on the ground. I'm like, wow, it's $2 on the ground. So I grabbed the $2. I put the $2 in my pocket. So when I get to the restaurant, I realize I don't have my credit card. My wife doesn't have any money. We've eaten all this food. We've eaten because we ate. We had money. My wife looked at me. She's like, God, what are we gonna do? Because I'm thinking, well, okay, I'll stay here. You just go to the house, get the money, bring back, and say that. That's what I say. So the Spirit of God says, He said, reach and pull that $2 out of your pocket. Our bill was $55, $42. Our bill was $42. He said, reach and pull the $2 out. So I reach in my pocket, pull out the $2 that I found on the ground. Guys, it was $45. You're on another level. You're on another level. You just have to attach to that another level. You just got to get to the other level. You're on another level. I had to realize that. I'm making $42,000 this week. I had to realize that's what's going to happen. You cannot let those 5 things I said, I hope you wrote them down because you are on another level. And when you understand you're on another level, you stop letting people try to keep you in their level. No, baby, you can be broke. I'm not broke. No, baby, you have to realize that right now your spirit is looking for ways to bless you, looking for ways to heal you, looking for ways to deliver you. But you have to get out of your own way because your emotions will fight your spirit. He said that's enmity. It's enmity. You're godlike. I was going to give away a free pass to my masterclass. 6 months, once a week, we get together and we go deep. We're going to talk about the tabernacle, the 5-fold ministry gifts, the 5 things. We're going to talk about the tabernacle. We're going to talk spirituality, your gift, prophecy. We're going to dig deep. We're going to put you're going to be the most powerful.